Hi there. Welcome to this video that we have created for students that are sitting the strategic case study exam. This video is specifically created to give you an idea, to give you an introduction, to give you great study tips as to how you can do well on the strategic case study exam by having a structured approach, by having an approach that helps you focus on the major core areas and at the end helps you to gain a successful result. So this video will run you through everything that is important about the strategic exam. What is the strategic exam? What's the syllabus for the strategic case study exam? What we must focus on when we are studying for a case study exam? How is the case study exam marked? What is the format of the exam? Each and everything about this exam will be explained in this informative video. It will give you all the study tips. It will give you all the good direction that you have to follow while you are studying a case study. So let's begin. So my name is Devansh and I'm going to be the lead tutor for the strategic case study exam. I'm a CIMA accredited tuition provider. For your strategic case study exam course, my job is to provide a framework that will help you build confidence towards writing this exam in a very easy and flexible way. We'll give you a very structured approach. I will be leading discussions in live class and making sure students are engaged and feel challenged throughout all my lectures. I will show you how to flexibly manage your time while studying, provide you a study framework to build your confidence, and most importantly, help you ace this exam. So, we'll give you the entire structure, we'll give you the entire key points, the entire major areas that you are supposed to focus on when doing a strategic case study exam. So, coming to about a case study exam. So, what is a case study exam? Now, some students might be coming over here to the strategic case study exam from the exemptions route. So they might have come in from a pathway that CIMA has presented to them, that they go directly to the case study exam, they got all the exemptions, and they directly go to the strategic case study exam. So they might not know what a case study exam is. On the other hand, we might have students that have come through the conventional route, meaning they have taken the E3, P3, and F3 exams and now coming directly to the case study. So, students from any walk of CIMA coming through the exemptions route or coming through the conventional route need to refresh their knowledge on what a case study is. So, a case study examination tests the knowledge, skills, and techniques from the three pillars within one simulated scenario and is taken at the end of each level of the CIMA professional qualification. So, the case study exam tests your knowledge, skills, and techniques from the three pillars, that is, E3, P3, and F3, combined into one simulated scenario and is taken at the end of each level. So, over here, you are taking the strategic case study exam. So, the examiner assumes that you have good knowledge from E3, P3, and F3. So the base, the foundation for this exam is E3, P3, and F3. So anybody who's coming in from the exemptions route has to first get their base very clear, has to develop CIMA specific knowledge. Some models such as the Mendelow's matrix, the stakeholder analysis, the TARA model, all of these different models is something that you will have to brush up on because this is CIMA specific. If you are coming in through the exemptions, you've likely done another qualification or you've done some other degree at university. That's why you got the exemptions. But CIMA specific knowledge is something that you will be lacking. So that is the first base that we will create. So note, the case study exam creates or to ace the case study exam, you need to create a base of the three pillars, E3, P3, and F3. If you've taken the E3, P3, and F3 exams but still need brushing up, but still you've taken it long time ago, you'll have to brush up on your knowledge. So the case study exam is a fictional company that is given to you a month and a half in advance, or a month and 2 weeks in advance to the exam date. So this is a company that they create. So CIMA releases a fictional company. You are supposed to analyze that company, understand that company, and in the exam you will be asked questions specific to that company, where you are supposed to bring up your knowledge from E3, P3, and F3 and answer the question. So the exam is a blend of many things. The exam is a blend of your E3, P3, F3 knowledge, along with the fictional company's knowledge that is released. Both of these together helps you give an informative answer. Let's say you only know the company very well, but you don't have a good base of E3, P3, and F3. Will you be able to write a complete answer? I don't think so. On the other hand, you have a good base of E3, P3, and F3, but you've not analyzed the company. Will you be able to write a good answer? I don't think so. So remember, the exam is a blend of your knowledge, your base of E3, P3, and F3, plus understanding the fictional company that CIMA create. But we are here, we are CIMA registered tuition providers, so we will be giving you a structure. We will be giving you everything that you need for your exam. The entire E3, P3, and F3 revision background comes from us. The entire case study analysis, the fictional company analysis, comes from us. We introduce everything to you step by step. We create everything for you step by step. Along with having good base knowledge, which is E3, P3, and F3, along with knowing the company, you will also need to draw your experience. You will also need to draw your real world experience into this exam, which we call the business acumen. Now, I will mention business acumen, business skills many times in this video. So just to give you a head start, no, when I say business acumen, when I say business skills, it's just your common working experience that you have had in a normal environment. Now, this case study exam is a very real world, type of an exam, where they will ask you a question which you will have to draw upon your knowledge from E3, P3, and F3. You will have to draw upon your knowledge about that company. Plus, you can use your real world experience to supplement that answer, to supplement that knowledge, and it will really give the examiner a complete answer. So know that your business skill, the experience that you've had in the real world, the working experience that you have, will come in very handy as part of this exam. How, when we will use it, how should we use it? Again, we will explain that to you when we get the chance. But know that it's a very important skill for you. So like I was mentioning, your entire E3, P3, and F3 revision, your entire brushing up of E3, P3, and F3 is handled by us. So for exemption level students, or students coming from a long break in their E3, P3, and F3 studies, the first thing that we will recommend is the SCS revision course, the case study exam revision course. This revision course runs you through every part of E3, P3, and F3, identifying the important areas, identifying case study specific areas. Now, again, we are registered providers, we are accredited providers, so we know what the exam is going to ask you. We know what the perspective of the exam is going to be. We know the favorite exam topics. So our courses revolve around that. We help you gain a good perspective on important topics, running you through everything, but helping you focus on the important topics. Like I've mentioned, specific knowledge is something that students need to gather, and that is what my revision course is made of. It's video recorded explanations, part by part, topic by topic. And as you can see in the screenshot below, at the end of every chapter, you get learnings from that chapter. So, from that chapter, what am I supposed to learn from the case study perspective? Because as a student, it's impossible to remember everything, right? I understand that. So, that is why we have created learnings. We have created important areas where you can ask yourself a question, where you can see if you remember the stuff in your own simple words. So we have created a platform for you. That's the revision course. For exemption level students, for students that feel that they need a brush up on E3, P3, and F3, this course is vital. Also for students who have finished their E3, P3, and F3 exams, but like I said, need brushing up, have forgotten parts of E3, forgotten parts of P3. This revision course will really help you to further understand certain topics and give you clarity when a question is asked. For example, in the exam, in the final case study exam, they ask you, according to you, how can we create a external environment analysis for our company XYZ? Now, if you don't know that external analysis can be created using the Pestel model or the Porter's five forces model, how will you write an answer? So this E3, P3, and F3 specific knowledge helps you start an answer, helps you go one step forward to help you give good ideas as part of the answer that you write. So everything comes from us. Each and everything is, in a well-defined structure is given by us. All you got to do is follow. Now, exam facts. In your exam, you will be given 3 questions and a total time of 3 hours. So each question is given 60 minutes. Now, each question will have multiple tasks that you will have to solve in those 60 minutes. Say you will have 2 things to write or 3 things to write. Explain advantages, disadvantages. So all these 3 things have to be done in the 60 minutes. Once the 60 minutes are up, question number 1 automatically goes away. It's automatically submitted. You cannot check, go back, or look at the answer again. So when you start your exam, your time starts elapsing from 60 minutes. It becomes 59:59, 59:58, and goes down. As soon as those 60 minutes are up, question number 1 is submitted. You're automatically taken to question number 2, where the time starts elapsing from 60 again. So as soon as the examination starts, you need to know how to read a question, what to read in a question. You need to know planning. You need to have good writing skills, and you need to have the knowledge. Now, all of these 5 things can only be given to you, or you can only exhibit if and only if you have practiced a whole lot of stuff before you enter the examination hall. And that is what our whole course helps you to do. It will definitely help you to gain an understanding of what you're supposed to do, and you will be prepared before you enter the exam hall. So that was about the exam. Now there are some case study updates in the new syllabus. Like we mentioned earlier, it was called the integrated case study exam. Now it's not called the integrated case study exam, which means earlier there were a set number of marks which were put aside just for you if you were able to connect E3, P3, and F3 knowledge. For example, let's say you're writing something on the Porter's value chain. So you're explaining what adds value, what does not add value, and you decided to use the Porter's value chain for a very simple example. Now, at the end or somewhere in your answer, if you were to link it to, anything such as, keeping employees happy with the help of share-based payments, or keeping employees happy with whatever, just mentioning anything from P3 or mentioning anything from F3 can help you gain those extra integration marks. So what I'm saying is, earlier on, there were a set number of integration marks which were put aside if, and you would only gain them if you were to link E3, P3, and F3. But now you don't have to do that, because the exam blueprints which have been given by CIMA are integrative themselves and they cover different syllabus areas. So you don't have to consciously merge in E3, P3 and F3 because the blueprints do that by themselves. So you will not be given any extra marks if you were to consciously merge E3, P3 and F3 or integrate them in your answers. I'm not saying you can't do it. You can do it, but you won't be getting the extra marks for that. Now the marking process has also changed a little bit. There are indicative markings, there are indicative timings given for each section as well, which I'll show you. There are exam blueprints in the form of I can statements, which we've spoken about largely. Now moving on to the role of a finance manager. So like we learned in the strategic case study exam, CIMA asks you to follow the role of a senior finance manager. So what does a senior finance manager do? What is his job? What is his role? Now, a senior finance manager always looks at the distance future. He's always looking at the future. So he is looking at a time scale of more than 5 years. Whenever he suggests something, he's always going to be looking for a strategy. He's always going to be looking at the future. So finance manager advises the organization's leaders in the development of a business strategy and to create value, which is required in evaluating strategic options, paying due attention to the organization's ecosystem, which means the external environment. So you're advising the leaders, you are looking at risk management, duty to advise on issues of corporate governance. The important element of a finance manager's job is frequently involved in the evaluation of the control environment. So internal audit. So we learned 4 things until now. He advises the organization's leaders. He looks at risk management. He looks at corporate governance. He looks at internal audit. Then support in decision making, the business case for digitization, and the manner in which the entity creates partnerships. So how you are including digitization, which is the new 2019 syllabus, which is in your E3 and P3 syllabus. The senior finance manager advises on matters that involve judgment that may have a significant effect on stakeholders. So this is ethics. This is professionalism that you got to maintain. So as you can see, the role of a senior finance manager is pretty broad. He looks at many different areas. And if you look at his role, if you look at his job is mainly surrounding the learnings that you will make in your E3, P3 and F3 syllabus. So that is why we say that the starting point for any case study exam has to be your E3, P3, F3 notes, which we will give you with the help of the core areas that we will explain to you. And then you start improving your writing skills on how to approach a case study exam, what should be an answer, how do I write a detailed answer, and all of that. So now coming to the I can statements and the blueprints, which I have been repeating many times. Now there are 5 core areas which you have been given by CIMA to focus on as part of your strategic case study exam, which is on your screen now. The first core activity given is developing business strategy. So these 5, according to CIMA, are the major roles of a senior finance manager. His first job, they say, is developing business strategy. So CIMA says that if a senior finance manager has to develop a business strategy, he should be able to evaluate strategic options. So what are strategic options? If you've studied your E3, P3, F3 syllabus, you know that to look at various strategic options, you can either use the ANSOX matrix, you can either use, when you want to decide on strategies, which is the second part, you can use the SAF model, the SFA model. If you want to look at acquisitions and divestments, you look at your P3 studies, F3 studies. If you want to look at opportunities and threats, you talk about SWOT analysis, which is E3 studies. So as you can see, each of these I can statements, each of these points given take you back to a topic in E3, P3 or F3, which we will provide to you in an explanatory form. So you don't have to go here, there and everywhere. So like I'm telling you, the first job is to start revising these I can statements. And as you can see, under a core area, the different I can statements take you to different parts of the syllabus. The first one is from E3, second one is from P3, third one could be from F3. So they could be from anywhere. And as you can see, that is why the integration marks have been removed, because the I can statements are integrative themselves. So each of these I can statements, one at a time, need to be taken back to either your E3, P3 or F3 syllabus, making sure that you have revised that part, making sure that you have gone through that part, and so that if a question comes up in the exam relating to these topics, you can easily give them an explanation. So these blueprints have to be your starting point. Coming to further details now. Now this is what your first screen on the exam is going to look like. Each and every question that you do, we do a lot of mock exam practice with our students, and our questions are consistently the quality of the exam, the level of the exam, making sure that you are ready before you enter the exam hall. So this is going to be the first screen that you see on your exam. And like I mentioned, now what they do is there's a section number, there's a task number, there is a time that you have been given, and they also tell you the number of tasks. Plus, something new that they have improved for the students is the percentage of time that each student must spend on the tasks. Now, what happens in a CIMA exam? Let me tell you. So every CIMA exam is marked out of 100. The case study exam is marked out of 100. So if it's marked out of 100, you get a score out of 150. Finally, you need to get an 80 out of 150 to pass. So you might be wondering, if it's marked out of 100, why is my total score out of 150? The reason that this is because the difficulty of each paper. Now for every CIMA case study exam, there are 4 variants which are created. Now each variant is a different exam. So if you take the strategic case study today, and if I take it tomorrow, we both may get different exams. So each of those exams are of a different difficulty. Let's say your exam was a little bit more difficult than mine. So to even up the level, to even up the playing field, CIMA applies a weightage at the end of the marking. So after you receive, let's say 60 out of 100, a weightage is applied to your score, and your final score will be out of 150. So like we mentioned, whatever score you get is then scaled up, is then weighted out of 150, and you need a minimum 80 to pass. Now I just gave you a little bit more detail than is needed for students, but it's important for us to give. Now to why this is important. So like we mentioned, the exam is out of 100 marks. So if it's out of 100 marks and there are 3 questions, I say each question is worth 33 marks, right? So if each question is worth 33 marks, and the first section, let me mention over here that this is 33, this is 33, and this is 34, for example, to make it an even 100. Now CIMA says that if you write one well explained, detailed point, you get 2 marks. Okay, so in question number 1, for task number A, it's 40% importance. So if one question is 33 marks and it's further broken down into 40 and 60, which means that for section A, section A is given 13.2 marks. Easily, what I'm doing is I'm taking 40% of 33, which gives me 13.2 marks. And if 1 point is worth 2 marks, 13 marks will be roughly 7 points. So for section A, whatever the question is, I will need to write 7 well explained, detailed points to get my marks. You got what I'm trying to say? So with these indicative percentages, you have the opportunity to understand how much you are supposed to write for each section. So for section A, you'll be writing about 7 well explained points. For section B, you will be writing about 6 well explained points. That's what I mean, 6 to 7 well explained points. I would say 7 to 8 would be enough. 7 to 8 points will be enough, because you will be putting in a lot of details for section B. So these indicative percentages have been given to you just to make sure that you understand how much you're supposed to write and how much importance you give it. So if you don't want to do these technicalities, what I always try to do is, whenever we write answers in our class for my students, I always tell them, when you write it on a normal Word file, write about 2.5 to 3 pages. If you're writing 2.5 to 3 pages on a normal Word file, you're automatically doing all of this. You don't need to sit over there calculating the technicalities. But some of our students like to be specific. So you know that for section A, I write 7 points. Section B, I write 9 points. My job will be done. So as long as you explain it, as long as you use these percentages, you will be giving them what they want, but they need to be detailed, they need to be explanatory. Now, as you will see over here is what an actual question looks like. So in the first part of the question, they give you a little bit of a scenario that we have decided to do blah, blah, blah. I need your help on significant risks. As you can see, it's been given 50% importance. And second one is also any lessons that we learn. Section B is also given 50%. So you know that I need to be equally responsible when I write both sections. 8 points on each should be enough, because you are giving it equal importance. I always say that if they ask for 7 points, write one more. If you write one more, you are just being safe. So always figure out what part of the question is important, and obviously you'll have to give them a little bit more detail on that. So this is what your first screen is going to look like. This is what an exam question looks like. And everything that you practice with us is going to be in the same format, is going to be exactly like the exam. You don't have to worry about that. Now, all of these technicalities aside, if you write your answer, always keeping in mind you are working with whatever company they give you, and put yourself in the shoes of a senior finance manager at whatever fictional company they give you, you will automatically include all the skills mentioned above. All you got to do is think of it as my organization. I am part of it. So what would I do if this were my organization? Everything will then start to fall into place with a whole lot of practice. Now remember, the case study is a standalone exam. It does not require any detailed word-to-word knowledge from E3, P3 and F3. We don't require any of that. CIMA assumes that when you did the E3, P3, F3 OTQ exams, the multiple choice exams, you have done the details. So over here, you don't need any details. You don't need any calculations. You don't need, any kind of calculations at all. All you have to do is show your evaluation and application skills. Your evaluation, writing, problem solving skills is what we are looking for. Whenever you're revising E3, P3 and F3, you don't have to do any sums. Your explanation is all that we need in your own simple words. So now that you've understood everything about the exam, you understood how the exam works, what the major parts are, what my revision course is, what we give you, our learning method, I'm sure you're well versed with all of that by now. So how studying works with us? Now, when you study with us, you have two options. The first recommended approach is the full course, where each and every part about your exam is handled by us with personalized solutions for you. So first is, for as part of the full course, you get twice a week live lessons that will involve group discussions, that will involve answer checking, that will involve showing you how an exam style answer needs to be written, how we can do better, how we can make sure that you write an ideal answer. You'll be in a clear audio discussion with me twice a week. You will receive our A3, P3, and F3 study notes, very well created, very well illustrated. You don't need anything else. You receive our personalized attention. You receive our, again, well compiled notes with quiz questions. So if you start early, you receive our quiz questions as well on E3, P3, and F3. Next, you receive 25 exam style mock questions. So these mock questions are close to, you can say 8 to 9 mock exams, exactly like the exam, but we split it down, we break it down into 25 questions, because we'll give you 2 questions at the time at once you begin, because we want to see what errors you are making, we want to correct those errors, and towards the end we will do exactly exam style answers. Now all the questions that you write are written on my online portal, meaning they are timed, meaning everything that you write is submitted to us, is checked, personally marked, personally corrected, and you are shown improvement areas. You receive our blueprint explanations, and you get a lifetime pass guarantee as well. We are confident that if our course is followed, if you just do as we say, if you attend all our live lessons, if you attend all our mocks, and all our instructions are followed, you got to pass the exam. You have a very good shot at it. Same way, you have the mocks only pack. Now, it's not that you can only pass with the full course, not at all. Students who have done our mocks only pack have also received very good scores, not only passed. But we recommend the full course because it gives a further extra touch where we meet twice a week. So for the mocks only pack, you receive personalized attention. You receive our mock questions. Again, we will split it down for you. Everything is marked, checked, and corrected personally. You receive our notes, plus you receive our exam blueprint explanations. So it's the same as the full course, except for the major difference, that is the twice a week live lessons and the personalized communication with the lifetime pass guarantee that you get. Now, the revision course that I spoke about at the start is an extra purchase. If you go for the full course, you still got to purchase it extra. You go for the mocks only pack, you still got to purchase it extra. But it adds great value, and it's at a very, very nominal price. For that nominal amount, you get 22 to 24 hours of video recorded explanations running you through each and every part of E3, P3, and F3. What else do you need? So these are the study options with us. And on your screen, you now see an example of our mock questions. So this is just a mock question example for you. You can see the question is exactly in the format of the exam. This is how you expect to see questions in the exam. So we make you practice exactly like the exam. For every question, you get a model answer as well, which you can see on the right hand side. We give you my perspective, we give you my side of the story, my model answer. Now, what you see on your screen is a corrected answer. So, every student that submits their answers gets them corrected. So, we will highlight it. We will tell you what is right. We will tell you what is wrong. We will tell you how you can do better. We will tell you, these are your mistakes. And then at the end of every answer, we will also be marking it exactly like the exam. So you can see, along with the marking, we give you personalized suggestions as well as to, in your case, do this, do that, focus on this mistake, focus on that mistake. So it's very, very personalized. It's something that we create specifically for you, and everything is where we spend time on a student. So it's not that it's a one solution fit all. each and every student's answer is checked, corrected, marked. We want everybody to do well. And this is the reason why we have our high pass rates. As we come to the end of this video, what I want to now show you is what's on your screen. So this is just a quick view of our LinkedIn profile. You can visit LinkedIn and have a look at have a look at it by yourself. So as you go through it, what I want to show you is how we maintain a relationship with our students, how all of our students endorse when they're studying with us. And you can see a brief 67 recommendations that have been received by us. These are only LinkedIn recommendations. You'll see a lot more once you go to our website, once you go to the website testimonials page, once you look at our other LinkedIn recommendations and posts as well. So these are just a quick few recommendations that you can have a look at. You will see how highly everybody has recommended us, and these are very, very recent. You can see the dates, the times, and all of that as well right in front of you. And all of these, with every student that we have a word with, every student that decides to study with us, we develop a very close relationship, and that helps them be comfortable with us. That helps them to understand our method better, and that helps them just being able to ask us any questions which we can answer for them in a very, very easy and a very, very specific way. So we hope and we look forward to studying with you very, very soon. I hope you found this video helpful, and I thank you for being here.